Alexander Graham Bell was a Scottish-born inventor, scientist, and teacher of the deaf. He was born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1847 and immigrated to Canada with his family in 1870. He later moved to the United States, where he would spend the majority of his life. Bell is best known for his invention of the telephone, which he developed in the 1870s while working as a teacher of the deaf. In 1875, he successfully transmitted the first intelligible telephone message, saying, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." This event marked the birth of the telecommunications industry. Bell received the first US patent for the telephone in 1876. In addition to the telephone, Bell made many other important contributions to science and technology. He developed an early version of the metal detector, which he used in an unsuccessful attempt to locate the bullet in the body of President James Garfield. He also worked on the development of the photophone, an early version of fiber-optic communication, and an early version of the airplane. Bell was also a strong advocate for the education of the deaf. He had a deep personal interest in this subject, as his mother and wife were both deaf. He developed a system of visible speech, which helped deaf people to learn to speak. He also opened a school for the deaf in Boston, which later became part of Boston University. Bell's impact on the world was significant. The telephone revolutionized communication and made it possible for people to talk to each other over long distances for the first time. It greatly facilitated the growth of businesses and made communication between people much easier. The telecommunications industry that developed as a result of Bell's invention is now one of the largest and most important industries in the world. Bell's other inventions also had a significant impact. His work on the photophone laid the foundation for the development of fiber-optic communication, and his work on the airplane was an important precursor to the development of the modern airplane. Bell's advocacy for the education of the deaf also had a major impact on the field of deaf education. Bell died in Baddeck, Nova Scotia, Canada in 1922. He was 75 years old. He was honored by many organizations, including the National Geographic Society, of which he was one of the founders, and he was also awarded the French Legion of Honor. Today, Bell's legacy continues to be celebrated. The Alexander Graham Bell Association for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, established in his honor, continues to advocate for the education of the deaf and hard of hearing. His inventions, including the telephone, continue to be used and celebrated around the world. Alexander Graham Bell's contributions to science and technology, as well as his tireless work to help the deaf, have had a lasting impact on the world and will be remembered for centuries to come.